Coming up on AgWeek TV, a South Dakota wildfire devastates grasslands. Our AgWeek driving tour continues with a look at how the crop is faring after a wet summer.
A new foam made from soybeans makes firefighting safer for people and the planet.
And we'll take you to a farm business that started as a way to grow healthy food for their family. Welcome to AgWeek TV. I'm Emily Beal. Fires have been blazing across the prairie in southern South Dakota this week. More than 15,000 acres of grassland has burned in the Power Dam Road fire in Millette County.
Shelley Batchelor has been living on her land outside of White River, South Dakota for over 35 years. This past week, the Power Dam Road fire came within 33 feet of her home.
When I left, I was like, this might be it. I don't know if I'll see it all together again or not.
Fortunately, her house survived. However, the fire destroyed some of their stackyards, their winter pasture for grazing, and a lot of fences.
There will be some buyers that will have to find hay elsewhere, which is really tough financially for them and for us.
The fire impacted about 2,500 acres of Batchelor's land. Fixing fences is a big concern.
From what we heard right now, all the fences have to be up to government specs, which would mean that we would have to cover the whole entire ranch, whether we needed to or not. And it would just only be on a cost share basis. And there's no way that you could afford to even come close to that. So that, in that case, would not be any kind of help to a lot of us, where we only need it in certain areas.
Batchelor lost a couple of entire stackyards to the fire as well.
In that case, too, that is a big amount of money, too, because a stackyard versus a fence line, it's a whole different ballgame for what your height is and what you use for that.
Most of the fire has now been contained. A new kind of pasture in Minnesota is generating electricity and giving cows shade. It's this week's AgWeek cover story. The biggest agrivoltaic pasture in the Midwest opened recently near the University of Minnesota Morris campus. The term means when energy and ag coexist on the same land. In this case, the solar array can shade cool season crops or cattle while producing energy for the campus. So far, researcher Brad Hines says the shaded cattle fare slightly better than the non-shaded group. He says 1 degree makes a big difference for cattle.
So if we lower heat stress, we can increase milk production, we could increase growth of heifers, and have less stress on the animals as well. So better fertility, maybe longer life by reducing heat stress.
You can read more in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Around 25 soybean buyers from the Philippines traveled across the Midwest this week. Ariana Schumacher caught up with the team in Wosley, South Dakota to learn more about their trip.
It's funny that, you get on a bus, you sleep for a bit, and in a couple of hours and you wake up and it's still a farm. So that's something very new.
Kit Kitane is the director of procurement for a feed milling company in the Philippines. His company buys around 90% of their soybean meal from the United States.
Just in our company alone, soybean meal is about maybe the second or third biggest component in our feed manufacturing. So understanding the whole end-to-end supply chain really is a good tool. It's able to help us understand when to position, how to best use it, and make our feed even much better.
For farmer David Struck, hosting international groups helps to create personal relationships and promotes doing business between the countries.
They like to put a face to the name and meet the people who are actually raising the crops.
A lot of the participants are young people who will eventually be running the businesses they represent.
They are like the Gen Z generation, and they will soon eventually take over the family's business. So we want to teach them everything they need to know about soybean.
Soybean meal is not just any raw material, right? So understanding it, how it's being planted, what affects the planting, and how it correlates with the prices, definitely will give us a head start of what to expect.
In Woolsey, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
After their tour of the Midwest, the group travels to the Pacific Northwest to tour the shipping ports. Up next on AgweekTV, Our dry bean tour continues with a check on how crops are doing in the wet weather.
Farm smarter with the new 360 Rain autonomous irrigation system from AgroValley Solutions. 360 Rain delivers precise bands of water and nutrients directly to the base of your crops. Less water, less electricity, more profit per acre. Whether you're using drain tile water, applying liquid manure, or replacing an outdated pivot, 360 Rain covers every inch of your field with ease. Discover the future of irrigation at agrovalley.net. 360 Rain, water where it matters.
Introducing the all-new Vaterstat Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Hi, Bill Kelsey here, Geringhoff Territory Manager, covering northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. At Geringhoff, we offer a full line of the best harvest headers and residue management systems on the market. Contact me today to discuss your farm's needs. From there, I'll connect you with an authorized Geringhoff dealer.
Our Peterson Farm seed reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm seed reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
The AgWeek Dry Bean Tour is brought to you by the North Harvest Bean Growers Association.
Our AgWeek Dry Bean Tour kicks off this week with a stop in central Minnesota, where sandy soils are making a difference for kidney beans in a saturated season. This is an NDSU breeding plot on the Central Lakes College Ag and Energy Farm in Staples. They grow many varieties of kidney beans. Farm manager Todd Palema says after a very wet season, it's a sign of genetic vitality that they are harvestable at all. In fact, he says the beans on sandy soils look better than average.
There's been standing water on this plot at least a half a dozen times this summer. It's just really been a challenge. I'm actually really proud of the beans for the fight they put up.
Palema says they are seeing some white mold because of the cool and wet conditions, and some fields showed blight. Our tour now takes us to central North Dakota, where researchers are studying white mold in dry beans. White mold is a big issue in both soybeans and dry edible beans, and the impacts to quality are especially concerning for edible beans. So this summer's wet and humid growing conditions were ripe for white mold development. While that was bad for growers, NDSU research plant pathologist Michael Wunsch was able to take advantage of it in his white mold studies at the Carrington test plots. He says farmers can keep white mold at a minimum by optimizing row spacing and seeding rate. They're also working in improving the efficacy of fungicides.
The later the disease comes in, the less the yield impact. But obviously it's a very severe, can be a very severe yield impact on both of these crops.
Wunsch says he's grateful to North Harvest Bean Growers Association for its support of research into white mold in dry beans. Martin Till is a family-based business that has a rich history in the ag industry, and they continue to add more chapters to their story and create innovations. I met with Martin Till to learn more about their newest row cleaner.
We're showing our new frame-mounted walking tandem row cleaner. We're pretty excited about it. It has some distinct advantages over some of the other options on the market right now.
Martin Till's new row cleaner is able to adapt to the land's conditions, making sure it does the best job possible despite change in elevation.
The walking tandem mode is probably the main feature. And what that means is the depth gauging wheel behind the row cleaner, in our case it's a crumbler basket, does not keep the depth of the teeth set. It can walk so they both have equal pressure down. And what that does in firm ground or no-till conditions, when it's locked in like competitive products, it tends to dig in going up grade if you're on rolling ground. And then when you go down grade, it's not aggressive enough.
Martin Till's new row cleaner will also help farmers get in and out of their fields at a faster pace, as the row cleaner works in all sorts of field conditions.
This should let you push the envelope a little with the mud-free wheel design that it has, gauging wheel, and the walking tandem. What you don't want is it to have skips and then dig in. So in those conditions, just let it walk, and it'll always have contact with the soil and the basket. They'll have equal pressure on them. You can lock it in position, hold it above the ground, or you can lock it in and make it really plow, or let it walk.
Having a planter a producer can count on is paramount when it comes to ensuring the best possible crop.
But it's always going to come down to how you put the seed in the ground. The planter is the most important tool in your tool shed. If it doesn't perform right, all the rest of it just kind of goes by.
Martin Till would like to thank Kinsey for sponsoring the row unit. To learn more about Martin Till's new row cleaner, please contact your Martin Till rep or contact the number on your screen.
Ahead on AgWeek TV, we'll show you a new firefighting foam made from soybeans that's safer for firefighters and better for the environment.
Storage Pros and MnDAC Containers are your premier suppliers of shipping containers, servicing all of North Dakota and Minnesota. From 10 to 53 feet, new and used units, we have your storage solution. Pick up your unit or have it delivered. Call Mike or Jake today.
Add more bushels to your hopper and money to your pocket by harnessing the power of air with Crary Wind Systems. Whether your beans are chest high or barely off the ground, Crary offers two solutions that add a constant stream of high-velocity air to quickly feed crop back to the auger, eliminating bunching, reducing shatter loss, and increasing your ground speed. Don't let crop conditions dictate your yield. Check out the Crary Air Reel or Crary Wind System today.
Do you have salty fields? Try calcine.
We've been putting it on some of our worst spots, and every year you see more bushels, greener crop, healthier crop. Some land down by the river that almost had to take out of production. We've been able to use calcine and bring it back to equal to the rest of the fields. Calcine mixes with basically anything. We put it down with our starter fertilizer. We've mixed it with herbicides. We've applied it broadcast. We've applied it banded. So it's worked in pretty much any capacity, and there's no volatility issues. So it's a very easy to use product.
Let's talk. Visit us at EricksonCustomOperations.com.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brand does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of brand products, give us a call at 701-361-4790. or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Is fall weather finally upon us? Here's Dylan with our AgriWeather Outlook.
Looking ahead at the next couple of weeks in terms of weather, this warm September weather is expected to last into the end of the month, even into the early October, where things are expected to stay warm. And with that warm weather, I do think frost looks unlikely towards the rest of the month into early October. Could have a couple patches, but a widespread end of growing season frost does not look likely here as we move into the next couple of weeks. And looking at terms of precipitation, after a wet week for some, it does look drier as we move on into the end of September, closer to October. So here's a look at how the jet stream is going to act this week. We will have a couple of cool days here over the weekend into early next week as we have a little bit of a dip in the jet stream, but that will not be lasting for long. Warmer weather is expected to be building off to the west and make its way eastward as we head into the middle part of next week, also bringing some drier weather for the middle to end of next week. Temperatures are expected to be above average. Average this time of year is generally in the lower 70s to upper 60s. We'll likely see some temperatures in the middle 70s to upper 70s as we move on into the late week, maybe even some straight temperatures in the 80s towards next weekend. So that warm weather, that's one thing we're looking for and expecting to last here towards the end of the month. Let's take a look at average first frost dates. This is not this year. This is just looking at climate records and when we average our first frost. And that usually, or our average, is late September into early October. For all the way up to Winnipeg, all the way down to Rochester, we average our first frost about this time of year, but I do not see it anytime soon, as temperatures are expected to not only stay above average this next week, but also into early October. You can see the above average temperatures expected for most of the United States. Looking at the terms of rainfall, I do see a couple of thunder showers down to the south into parts of the Midwest, maybe a few other isolated ones, but more dry next week than we have been at least this past week. Drier weather for much of the western U.S., and we'll have to watch out for some tropical moisture down in the southeastern United States. And then looking ahead to the last couple days of September into early October, things are expected to dry up, especially across the central part of the United States. Still have to watch out for some thunder showers and with some tropical moisture down in the southeastern portion of the United States. Now looking at a couple months as a whole, so September, October, and November, temperatures are expected to stay above average. So far, September has been very, very warm for pretty much the entire Northern Plains and really the United States as a whole. And that's expected. This above average weather is expected to continue into October and November. That does not mean temperatures in the 70s and 80s. But remember, as we go farther into the fall, temperatures, or average temperatures cool, we're likely to stay above those averages as we move on into later fall months, into the early winter months as we head on to the end of the year.
Storage Pros and MnDAC Containers are your premier suppliers of shipping containers, servicing all of North Dakota and Minnesota. From 10 to 53 feet, new and used units, we have your storage solution. Pick up your unit or have it delivered. Call Mike or Jake today.
Hi, Bill Kelsey here, Geringhoff Territory Manager, covering northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. At Geringhoff, we offer a full line of the best harvest headers and residue management systems on the market. Contact me today to discuss your farm's needs. From there, I'll connect you with an authorized Geringhoff dealer.
When it comes to grain storage and handling solutions, one call does it all. Gateway Building Systems is one of the largest Brock bin dealers in the U.S. Our expert team is dedicated to creating a customized plan for your future success. Expanding your operation has never been easier with our range of Brock solid bins, grain dryers, conveyors, and more. As your trusted partner, we are committed to serving the needs of farmers. Take the first step toward success and call Gateway Building Systems today.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Farm smarter with a new 360 Rain autonomous irrigation system from AgroValley Solutions. 360 Rain delivers precise bands of water and nutrients directly to the base of your crops. Less water, less electricity, more profit per acre. Whether you're using drain tile water, applying liquid manure, or replacing an outdated pivot, 360 Rain covers every inch of your field with ease. Discover the future of irrigation at agrovalley.net. 360 Rain. Water where it matters.
You got salty soils? We can help. Let's talk. AgweekTV Soy Insight, brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Council.
Spray foam is an important tool for fighting fires, but also contains toxic chemicals that are bad for the environment and firefighters. But the soybean industry has developed an innovative product that makes the foam safer using soy meal. Rose Dunn shows you how it works in this month's Soy Insight.
Firefighters are demonstrating their newest tool at Big Iron, a safe and effective firefighting foam made of soy. Traditional firefighting foams contain hazardous forever chemicals known as PFAS. They raise the risk of cancer, and the runoff is very bad for the environment. So a company called Cross Plains Solutions partnered with the United Soybean Board, using soy checkoff dollars to develop a firefighting foam that doesn't contain harmful chemicals. They came up with a foam that uses soy meal.
What can we put in there to keep them safe? And it's the safe thing first that we're looking for. So what could be safer than something that we eat and consume every day or feed out to our cattle?
Soy meal is a byproduct of the crushing process, and with more renewable fuels being produced, there is a lot of soy meal available. John Hale is the fire chief in Castleton, North Dakota, but he also grows soybeans, so he's happy to have a foam that's safer for his crew and the environment and good for growers.
If I know that the foam that I'm flowing through the truck is no longer a carcinogen, I'm all for that. Plus, if I come to your home or your vehicle or anything else that's on fire and we use that, I can walk away from it knowing that I did more good than harm, right?
North Dakota Soybean Council Chairman Jim Thompson says with 2 new soybean crush plants in North Dakota, he's happy to see a new use for the meal while making a vital product safer.
It's a great story to tell that we can be involved in such an important product that helps not only our firemen but the communities as a whole. So at the North Dakota Soybean Council, we've set aside funding. So fire departments want to get their hands on the product. We can provide them with a 5-gallon sample, and it's a first come, first serve. So get a hold of someone at North Dakota Soybean Council and we'll be happy to set you up.
In West Fargo, this is Rose Dunn for AgWeek.
To get a soy foam sample, contact the North Dakota Soybean Council at the website or phone number on the screen. Still ahead on AgWeek TV, it started out as a way to feed their family, and now it's grown into a business.
Introducing the all-new Vaterstad Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
Our Peterson Farm seed reps, real-life seed heroes, well, they've been known to go the extra mile, literally thousands of extra miles every year. And when they're not driving gravel roads, they're out walking fields and sampling soil. When time is the enemy, they're there to save what's left of the day. Are all Peterson Farm seed reps seed heroes? I guess that's a yes. Peterson Farm Seed, we're that kind of seed company.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, free single healthcare, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brand does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of brand products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
A South Dakota family started out with a plan to grow their own food a few years ago, but now it has evolved into 2 businesses. Kennedy Tesh takes you to the Riggins farm.
No, that's a good one. So my wife come to me and says, I want to raise our own food, which can be a bad idea. It can be a great idea.
So far, Chuck and Mamie Riggins say it's turning out to be a good idea. They wanted to grow fresh and healthy food for their family. So in 2020, they started planting perennial and annual fruits and vegetables on their farm in northeastern South Dakota. Their crops include aronia berries, strawberries, raspberries, tomatoes, apples, and asparagus.
There's a lot of hours involved with weeding it, making sure that things are being picked when they need to be picked so that the bugs stay down. We typically don't use sprays of any kind, so it makes it a little more challenging, but it's definitely worth it.
The Riggins also market their produce and products, like jellies, through their 2 businesses, Riggins Homegrown Foods and Riggs Kitchen. They wanted to share healthier food with their community.
5-10 year plan, I would say they have it up, so we have our asparagus and strawberries and tomatoes all back in full production for market. And hopefully back into farmer's market or even a commercial kitchen is our ultimate goal within the next 10 years.
They have chickens too and use the manure for compost. The Riggins got a grant from the Natural Resources Conservation Service to build a high tunnel and help from the South Dakota Specialty Producers Association.
We've done marketing things, educational things. Right now we have quite a few topics with like organic and urban agriculture, just different things like that we work on depending kind of as the season as crops and interests change.
In the next few years, the Riggins plan to add more crops, including potatoes, peas, and garlic. Near Bruce, South Dakota, this is Kennedy Tesh for AgWeek.
Stories you'll only see on AgWeek.com and in AgWeek magazine this week. Auction prices for late model used equipment have plummeted while the volume of sales is higher than ever. And producers and livestock industry leaders voice their support for a proposed rule surrounding the Packers and Stockyards Act. We appreciate you watching AgWeek TV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.